firstly, I'll answer the two questions that have been presented to me on Twitter. We were originally attempting to do a podcast today, but pretty much everyone that usually does says they can't do it and whatnot. So I figured, since I said that we would record, I figured I'd give something. So whether it's like a mini podcast or a usual reaction video, whatever you want to call it. The first question from Jane_90. Do you prefer Mars bars or Snickers? Mars bars. Although I do like Snickers, actually I've grown to like them recently. And Daniel Jenks89, good mate of mine. Do you put milk in the mug before the tea bag? Don't drink tea, mate, so it's kind of an irrelevant question. Right, we've got those things out of the way. Well, where do you start with this one? I got quite a, I wouldn't say a massive amount of stick, but certainly from the video I did, like the reaction on Saturday night, when I said effing Barnsley, and I do to an extent still stand by that, but I sort of wanted to I just wanted to quickly go over a few things, and then I'll say quickly, be prepared for this to be 20-30 minutes long. The first thing, Barnsley had every right to win the game as much as Sunderland did. There's no getting away from it. There's no disputing it. Barnsley won 3-0, fully deserved to win 3-0, probably could have won by more, truth be told. They were quicker, hungrier, faster, sharper, wanted it more. And if they wanted it more, fully deserved to win. Not going to discredit them for that. Maybe I'm underestimating teams in the Championship, but I still insist that as a quality of league is concerned, it isn't good. Although I would admit that whatever it doesn't have in terms of quality, it fully makes up for in terms of heart, work rate, and desire and hunger and passion, all the cliched stuff you hear loads of times before. But that doesn't mean Sunderland should be going there and losing 3-0. And I will point out right now that if anyone's blaming Grayson for this, then they should just pack their bags and just go, because it's missing the entire point. It's not... Grayson's not blameless. He has to take a bit of responsibility. I mean, I feel he could have played a fresher team against Leeds, but it's easy to say in hindsight because we lost that game. I mean, but yesterday, he probably will have lambasted the players, and rightly so for that. And I wasted 50 quid to go and watch that shite. I mean, I said in the video, Burnley was probably up there with one of the worst away days I've ever experienced as a Sunderland fan. But I have to be honest, I think Barnsley just takes the biscuit. It just takes the cake completely. And where do you come back from that? We've now got, 3 days left of the transfer window, and when was the last time we signed a player? Which kind of brings me on to my next point: signings, or lack of recently. Again, not blaming Grayson for that because I don't think he's been properly backed. I understand the debt ruin's big. I understand that it has to be dealt with. I understand that we can't just suddenly pump loads and loads of money. But the fact we couldn't afford Robert Snodgrass on loan, and we're hesitant about paying a loan fee for McCormack, I'm sorry, there comes a point where you've got to strike a balance, guys. And I'm talking specifically about Ellis Short and Martin Bain, but specifically Ellis Short. I've gone from being a very anti-Short person to being mixed about him, and I'm sort of now in between the two of them because I'm starting to lose a bit of patience with Ellis Short again. I understand he's done a lot for her. There's no disputing it. He has done a lot. He's pumped in a lot of money over the last few years at the club. But I just think, as of right now, you've got to take this season seriously as well. I mean, people could, and long-term strategy. If you want to help clear the debt, get back to the Premier League. And even if you just spent, say, $5 million on loan fees for McCormack and Snodgrass, and now Jordan Rhodes by the looks of it, then it'll help you pay the debt off clearer. It'll help you pay off the debt quicker. Maybe not next season, but the year after that, because if you went up this season and then stayed up the following season, the money you'd get then straight away could clear the debt, and you should have a bit left over for transfers. I mean, you look at the Pickford deal. Yeah, the deal will total £30 million, but we've not seen any of it. Why? I understand that it's the debt, but surely at least 5 to 10 million of it should have been made available for Grayson to use. Yeah. Sorry guys, it's a bit of a depressing video, but I'm trying as hard as I can, by the way, to maintain a cool head and maintain some perspective here, because Saturday was shocking. It was up until Barnsley scored their first goal, it was fine. I didn't have much of a problem with the performance. I thought we were clumsy in the final third, but other than that, I felt the application was there. And it's the same reason you didn't see me complain about the Leeds game too much, because I did honestly feel the application was there. I did feel the effort was there. We just were poor. It was just a day where nothing went right for it. I don't think anyone could sit there and look and tell me that after Barnsley scored, Sunderland gave their all. They lost their heads from the first goal to the second goal, which was 5 minutes between each other. And I feel like such a broken record, and I'm sick of coming on here and saying this over and over and over again. How many times are we going to see Sunderland drop their heads and suddenly give up the instant we go behind? You don't do that. You stay in the game. Stay in the game. It's not difficult. It is not that hard. Seriously, it's not that difficult to maintain a 1-0 defeat at that point in time when we conceded the first goal. There was still an hour left to go. It was only 1-0. And yet we just collapsed again. I'm fed up of saying it, and you're probably even more fed up of me talking about it. So, look, we'll move on from this. The other couple of things, I'm not going to try and talk about it all, just in case we actually get to do a podcast later this week. So I don't really want to go through everything, because I had a little list of things that I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to talk much about transfers, other than I think that the board seriously do need to look at themselves and say, how seriously are they going to take this season? Right now, it feels like not very. I understand, again, the debt needs to be cleared, but you have to strike a fine balance. And are we questioning, for example, our fans questioning Ellis Short enough? And I still maintain that if we got a couple of match-winning players, we'd be up there in the hunt for the playoffs. I've given up on top two already. And truth be told, I never really thought we were going to get top two. We're now 10 points behind Cardiff. Do me a favour. And we're 4 points off the playoffs, I think. So that's not insurmountable. Don't get me wrong. On some level, on contextual level, it's only 5 games. It's only 5 games into the season. Still 41 matches left to play. You've still got enough time to try and win the points. But what's disappointing the most is 2 games ago, before we played Leeds, it was a decent start. 5 points from a possible 9. Now it's turned into a very poor start because of 2 stupid games. Leeds fine. I think that was more down to fatigue and tiredness more than anything else. Pete and Ben have pretty much said on the previous podcast just over a week ago after the Leeds game that they don't see it as an excuse. And to a degree, it isn't an excuse, but it is a factor. I can't defend Saturday. I can't defend it at all. If Sunderland had put the effort and application in, I believe they would have got a result. But, as for Barnsley, I got annoyed when teams in the Premier League kept saying we should be beating teams like Sunderland. And fair play. Barnsley had every right to win the game as much as we did. And Barnsley did deserve to win. Anyone disputing that Barnsley deserved to win, you don't know about football. They did deserve to win. They deserved to win by that scoreline as well. I don't know what on earth we were doing defensively for the 3 goals. I felt the first one, Coney could have got a head to it or a foot to it and just cleared it. Second one, good finish, but shouldn't ever have got to that point in the first place. And the third one, George Monker, I believe the name is the guy who scored the third one. He was just a dick in front of the away fans. And I don't usually like players who are cocky and celebrate like that, because what have you got to do with Sunderland? It shouldn't matter. Celebrate in front of if celebrate like that in front of your own fans, fine. But don't do that in front of the away fans. It's not called for. What's worse is the fact that, once again, people are having a go at our support. So I'll end the video and talk about this. Anyone who has a go at our support clearly does not understand the context. Over the last few years, we have constantly put up with capitulating when we go behind, instantly thinking it's game over when we're 1-0 down, when it shouldn't be that way. We've lost at home, and both home and away, we've lost quite heavily to some poor teams. Really, really poor sides. Barnsley, like I said yesterday, was 1. Burnley's another 1. Yet last season we lost twice to Borough. There's... What else? Palace, when we lost 4-1 under Advocat. Poyet 4-0 Villa. 8-0 Southampton. 3-1 Norwich. the year QPR that went down about 3 seasons ago, I think it was, we lost twice to them, including at home when they hadn't had a single away point up until that stage. Not really good enough. We've been constantly let down. We've been constantly fed shit, and that's not even taken into account last season. Southampton at home, there's another one. Southampton are a better team than Sunderland, don't get us wrong, but they were really out of form when we played them. We shouldn't be losing. Certainly shouldn't be losing at home 4-0 to them. You know, it's getting beyond a joke now, and I can't even muster the energy to get angry so much as much anymore. And the sad thing is, I mean, again, and if you're fed that constantly, and clearly a lot of the time seeing players not giving their all, especially with last season, then I think I will stick up for our fans. I will stick up for fans who leave. I'm not usually a big advocate of leaving games if, say, for example, it's 0-0 or it's 1-1 or it's 2-1 or it's a narrow score or whatever. But when it's a comfortable defeat and you know the game's lost, you don't want to sit there and watch that. You don't want to sit there and go through that. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't be judged for it either. Like I said in the previous video, Sunderland have got a few days left in the transfer window, and if they don't bother to sort themselves out, then I seriously fear and worry for this season. I really do. I don't think we'll go down again, but feel free to reference this video when we've been relegated to League One. But at the minute, we ain't going to get anywhere near playoffs. Not if we keep having an attitude like that. I mean, Kazri, when he came on, didn't do anything. I think I've done a 180 on Kazri now. I think I just want him to go. I'm not going to jump on Ndong so much because that's one performance. That's probably his first really bad performance I've seen in a long time. I do still think Ndong could be crucial for us this season, but you know, if we get a good offer for him, as far as I'm concerned, I think I'd probably just sell him. And Coney likewise, but are we going to see any of the money and get any replacements? Probably not. But if that's the case, why aren't we going to see it then? Surely you guys must know, on the board level, must accept that we have to take the season seriously, at least to be attempting to try and push for top 6. Who knows, maybe Grayson's just brought in as the stability manager. We finally want stability, we get it. We want mid-table mediocrity, we get it. But in the wrong league. Look, guys, I'll leave it there. Sorry it's a bit bland, this video, but I felt like I had to put something out. So if we don't do a podcast this week, but I'm hopeful we will do, I'm hoping to do something a bit different after the international break next week. Fingers crossed. Not promising anything yet, but fingers crossed. Either way, though, I love yous and leave yous. Have a good one. Congrats to Barnsley for the win, and I'll see yous later.